everyone, I'm Chantal from Fore Yoga. Today I'd like to suggest a short sequence that will allow to stretch our hamstrings, our calves, and as well a little bit of a hip stretch. So all you need is a belt or a tie and your yoga mat, and we'll start lying on our back. So make yourself comfortable on your back, allowing your spine to find its natural state on the mat. And don't allow your lumbar region, so your lumbar curve, to lose its ability to curve. So I don't want you to flatten your lower back onto the mat. Just relax and let the back be what it is. From here, grab your belt and wrap it under the sole of your right foot. I'm holding the belt with both hands, so one strand in each hand. And the belt is right at the top of the foot, so not in the arch. Keeping your lumbar curve, extend the other leg out. And if this causes some tension in your lower back, or you lose your lumbar curve, then bring your foot back onto the mat. Both legs are active here. So as you inhale, think of lengthening your left leg, the heel driving away from you. And as you exhale, focus on your right heel becoming the highest part of the foot. As you pull a little bit on the belt, as you press into it. So it's an active stretch as opposed to a passive one. Staying here just for 2 more breaths. Aiming for a stretch that is healthy and not that one that is actually unsustainable. On the inhalation, the focus is on the left leg, thinking of extension. And on your exhalation, focus is on the right leg. From here, grabbing your belt in your right hand only, left arm is going to go on the floor beside you, about shoulder height. Keeping the angle of your leg right now, externally rotate your hips so your toes are suddenly going to point towards the right. Taking a nice deep breath in, as you exhale, slowly start opening the leg towards the right. Keeping the left side of your body nice and stable. So if you feel that your left hip, you could actually take your left hand, place it on top of your hip, and notice if you're lifting the left hip, if you're gripping in your belly and your back, it's an indication that you need to come back. So there's no need to go so low. On your next inhalation, slowly come on back. Flipping hands, so now my left hand is holding onto my belt and my right arm is on the floor away from you. Taking a nice deep breath in, exhale, let your leg float towards the left until your foot is somewhat on top of your left hip. And take a moment to pause here and to feel. You may already have a pretty good stretch in the IT band, maybe in the hip section, and some people actually have a stretch in the calves here. So a couple of breaths here, pressing the foot into the belt as you pull on it. And if it's calling you and it's accessible to you, you may slide your bottom hip towards the right a little bit and then let your leg float towards the left a little bit more, turning your head towards the right. Your left leg is still active. And then slowly come on back. Inhale. As you exhale, bend your knee. Release your belt. And shake it out a little bit. And take a moment to pause and to feel. You may feel that your right leg is a little longer than the left one. And then we'll do the other side. So wrap your belt under the sole of the left foot. Lumbar curve is in its natural state. And if it's accessible, extend your right leg out. Taking a nice deep breath in, focus is on the right leg, which is part of your foundation, so you're pressing the calf down. And as you exhale, lift your left heel nice and high towards the ceiling. So the goal here in this sequence is not really to bring the toes to the nose, but to tap into an active stretch as you pull on the belt and press into it at the same time with your foot. Couple of breaths here. Notice if you have tension in your shoulders or neck or jaw as you focus on the legs. Inhaling, extending the right leg out a little bit more, and exhaling, focuses on the left leg. Good. Now from here, grabbing your belt in your left hand. Right hand can be on the floor. I like to put it on my hip to make sure that this hip stays put. Now externally rotating your left hip so your toes are turning out. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale. Let your leg float towards the left. So it's an external rotation. Notice if you're gripping in your belly and your core, and if the right side of the body is nice and neutral. It's just a different angle to stretch the hamstrings here. On your next breath in, slowly come on back, switching hand. Take a nice breath in, left arm on the floor away from you. And exhale, let your leg float towards the right until your right foot is on top, your left foot is on top of your right hip. And just take a moment to feel here before even going deeper. Quite often we move quickly into sequences and postures, and we bypass some sensations. And then from here, if it's accessible and you wish, go ahead and sweep your right hip towards the left a little bit and let the leg float a little bit more towards the right. Inhaling, slowly come on back. And as you exhale, bend your knee, release your belt, and take a moment to pause and feel. Good. Now from here, bringing the sole of your feet onto the mat. Knees to chest. Rocking a little bit side to side. And then if it's accessible to you, rocking back and forth to come to a seated position. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope this was helpful. And until we see each other again, namaste.